head, I thought he might also move to the fourth dimension, because the man would not be complete bringing the fourth dimension. So yes, we have a body. So because the body is there, we have the physical needs. But we cannot underestimate that we are also emotional beings. We have the need to be appreciated, recognized, loved, taken care of, and then we also have a mind. And mental needs, opportunities to learn, to grow, to succeed, to excel. But there is an important element which unfortunately we are missing out. And there is a recent study by Wilson Learning Company in America, and they have attributed up to 40% of the organizational performance to the people's motivation. And they said in the people motivation, 78% single-handedly is attributed to the spiritual development and uplift of the man.
Very good, very nice.
And there is the point, then each and every training and development effort, why we stop at that point? Why we don't feel safe in talking about the spirit? Why we just ignore that important aspect of the human being? Why can't we teach them higher social? Yes, we are slowly and gradually making our ways, trying to find very safe word to talk about in corporate Pakistan, word like CSR, word like ethical leadership, enlightened leadership. Why can't we
so spiritual aspect pe kaam hona chahiye. Yes. Very good. Now, Mr. Faria, you've been waiting to say something. Every time there is a discussion on training and development, somehow GSK always has something to say. Very composite and comprehensive training and development program these people run. Tell me about it. You guys plan for your program a year in advance. A nice brochure is developed better than companies who actually market their training programs. When you have to change, what do you do?
We spend a lot of time and energy on training and development, and also marketing that program to our employees. Interestingly, this year I noticed a very different trend, because we are talking about employee motivation, and so I completely, we take pride in being a learning organization. Internally, externally, both, we've always regarded very high in all our exit interviews, so we know that we are probably okay. So this year again, we started off with full enthusiasm, and I know, and Dilip also, we've engaged you, and we do our learning need analysis and everything, engaging employees and everything. So when we started our learning programs, guess what? Employees didn't want to come. Okay, so one program, fine. How many participants? 5 participants? अच्छा कितने थे? 25 थे. अच्छा कल कॉल करना, लाइन मैनेजर से कहना थोड़े भेजें. This happened. 1 program, 2 programs, good programs, good trainers. If I show you the list of trainers, if anybody, I don't know, here has got a copy of our learning plan, I mean, you can't go wrong. We even inducted trainers from Dubai, good trainers from here. So then I took a step back, and actually I'm still thinking, because we don't have budget cut pressures, but I'm thinking that I invested a lot of money in training and development, and right now sitting here I don't feel as an accomplished HR professional. Why? Because I don't know, something was missing. And I think then, this whole recession and the whole conversation about training and development, then I realized one thing. I think employees also, when there is no training and development, then they always tell you, there's no training and development, HR so raha hai, hamara kya ho raha hai, and all that, right? Then HR wakes up and they offer design programs for them, and they probably, it's too easy for them. जब कोई चीज़ बहुत आसानी से हासिल हो जाती है, तो वो भी बड़ी उसकी हैसियत कम हो जाती है. So my point is, I think training पे थोड़ा wisely करना चाहिए. I think what you should not do, offer all in one go in a year, because then employees actually lose charm. And we have gone through, I have gone through it, I have invested, I know my budgets, and next year I'm telling you, sitting here, I promised myself that I'm going to cut down these budgets. Not because of any other thing, because I don't see the value on this.
Very good. So HR also, yes, we have a question.
If there is a budget cut constraint on the HR, and they're told to cut the budget, and they have the option of slashing down the jobs, or cutting down their training development budget. So one of the panelists said you should never ever cut training development budget. So they should cut down the jobs. what
Achha,
should the person
the
do?
question is कि if you are provided with two options, one is to cut down jobs or to cut down on training and development. That's a very hypothetical situation. I don't know if that could arrive, but if so, what would you do?
Okay, thank you. In fact, as I was already listening to the panel, in fact, there was a point that, once we have to go for cutting the budget. So in this particular case, once we claim that we have the learning organizations, so naturally I think we have to have a rationale for cutting the training and development budget. And I think the option is that you must have seen whenever we have to design training development plan, most of the time we have some kind of training which is termed as a scrap training, because most of the time you are not going to have the customized training programs, because at times you're going to hire outsourcing or something like that. So in fact this is the point where we can reduce the scrap training and we can add to that kind of combination where we say that face-to-face training, and then we can say that online training, because most of the time you're going to resort to the IT and associated you can say all kind of tools. So in that particular case I would say that within that budget you can always go for training.
मगर ये कि थोड़ी सस्ते थ्रू जो cheaper means जो हैं through technology integration, आप कुछ कहना चाहें?
To the question that you asked, should you go for cutting the training budget or should you go for a headcount cut? I mean, when you're doing these decisions, you have to be very rational and objective about it. Since you cannot survive without having both, you need to a certain extent, you do need to train and retrain your resources, and at the same time, you need to have a minimum level or the required level of the head source. So what you do, for instance, if you ask me what we did, in terms of let's say we looked at our resources, we looked at the positions that are not very required at this point of time or maybe in 2-3 years. So we said, okay, maybe this is the time we can part ways. In terms of training, we are a company, globally, a company which is known for investment in leadership training, and we are one of the company known for it. However, how we do it locally, and especially in these times when we have a lot of cost pressure and all, so we look for alternatives. I mean, okay, we're not going for some fancy, expensive training program. So what we can offer? Okay, let's go inside. Maybe we can substitute it with some internal trainers doing the training programs as well. Maybe our own leaders coaching the other leaders. So those kind of initiatives that we took. And I think we were earlier having a discussion. I think these times have given a good opportunity to all the organizations to look inside and see कि जहाँ पे वो ज़रा excessive हो रहे थे, lavish हो रहे थे, they can now realistically assess their own structures and their own processes. For example, in these times, अब मेरे पास अगर consultants या trainers के proposal आते हैं, so I'm very choosy. I can like look at what is the actual value that they are going to deliver to my team, and then I'll accordingly select.
Kiran, Andaleep is not happy with
I
you.
think one point which both of the ladies have raised, and nobody can underestimate the value of training. I think the only question is the better plan you have on the training and development needs, the better you are equipped. Because if the people are not responding from within the organization, if they are not interested in participating in the training programs, the reason could be the perceived needs on the basis of which you have arranged the program was perceived by the HR, and it was not addressing the personal needs of the employees.
That could be the reason, yes.
If you really, and that's exactly the point where I started off, we need to know everybody is going through a stress. And people are people, they are not machines. Once we talk about the work-life balance, there are chaos going on in every family. So we have to come up with the training, we have to come up with the training plans and the training topics which are giving them solutions to their daily life issues and which are close